In the 1980s, one man would terrorize the residents of the greater Los Angeles area and later the San Francisco Bay Area over the course of 14 months. He punched, pistol whipped, and strangled many of his victims, both with his hands and in one instance a ligature, stomped at least one victim to death in her sleep, and tortured another victim by shocking her with a live electrical cord. This man, Ricardo Richard Levia Munoz Ramirez, would be later dubbed the Night Stalker.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.
Before we continue, please take some time out to like this video and subscribe to my channel. As of this video, I am trying to reach about 50 subscribers, as this will really help my channel grow. On August 30th, 1985, Ramirez boarded a bus to Tucson, Arizona, to see his brother, not realizing that he had become the lead story in nearly every major newspaper and television news program in California. Ramirez returned to Los Angeles early on August 31st after failing to meet his brother. He walked past police officers who were staking out a bus terminal in the hopes of apprehending the killer, and into an East Los Angeles convenience store. After noticing a group of elderly Hispanic women fearfully identifying him as El Matador, literally the killer in Spanish, Ramirez saw his face on the front page of the newspaper La Opinion, with a headline calling him Invasor Nocturno, meaning Night Invader. He fled the store in a panic, and after running across the Santa Ana freeway, he attempted to carjack an unlocked Ford Mustang but was pulled out by Faustino Pinion. Running across the street, he attempted to take car keys from Angelina De La Torre, but the woman's husband, Manuel De La Torre, witnessed the attempt and struck Ramirez over his head with a fence post. A group of over 10 residents formed and chased Ramirez down Hubbard Street in Boyle Heights. They forced him down and beat him relentlessly. The crowd grew to several hundred people, all trying to get their hands on Ramirez. At around 8 a.m., police were called over a disturbance in the area with few details regarding indications of a fight. This is ultimately what saved him from being killed by the angry crowd, who now knew he was the Night Stalker. The responding officer, in an attempt to calm the already angry crowd, stayed behind while Officer Jim Kaiser drove Ramirez to the Hollenbeck police station. On July 22, 1988, jury selection for the trial began. Ramirez yelled "Hail Satan" during his first court appearance, raising a hand with a pentagram drawn on it. The Los Angeles Times reported on August 3, 1988, that some jail employees overheard Ramirez planning to shoot the prosecutor with a gun he intended to smuggle into the courtroom. As a result, a metal detector was installed outside, and people entering were subjected to extensive searches. The trial was halted on August 14 because one of the jurors, Phyllis Singletary, failed to appear in court. She was found shot to death in her apartment later that day. The jury was terrified, wondering if Ramirez had somehow orchestrated this event from inside his prison cell, and if he could communicate with the other jurors. However, it was eventually determined that Ramirez was not responsible for Singletary's death because she was shot and killed by her boyfriend, who later committed suicide in a hotel with the same weapon. The alternate juror who took Singletary's place was too terrified to return home. Ramirez was ultimately convicted of all charges on September 20, 1989, 13 counts of murder, 5 attempted murders, 11 sexual assaults, and 14 burglaries. On November 7, 1989, during the penalty phase of the trial, he was sentenced to death in California. Following the death sentences, he told reporters, "Big deal. Death always went with the territory. See you in Disneyland." On June 7, 2013, Richard Ramirez, best known as the Night Stalker, died of complications secondary to B-cell lymphoma at Marin General Hospital in Greenbury, California.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear that the thoughts build up until I can't hear, that my mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper.